All right, we have with us live in our studio Mr. Vishwabandhu Gupta. He's an activist on black money. He also happens to be a former income tax commissioner. Sudhanshu Mittal, who's the leader of the BJP, will be joining us from Delhi as well. We're expecting someone from the Congress to be with us shortly, and we'll introduce him to you as he comes online. I want to start with Mr. Gupta. Sir, why are we still struggling after decades of discussing and debating this issue?
You see, we are struggling for the very simple reason. We were never serious about it. I am from the finance ministry.
Yes.
There never was any seriousness even for 5 minutes with the last government.
The UPA.
With the UPA, I'm talking about UPA. And this is the way things are, and people don't understand. No, this is a very complicated subject for a normal man to understand. Now, this is the first attempt made by this new government, and I think the Swiss are also very intelligently, they are also trying to see whether how much NDA is serious about it. Because don't forget that huge money is lying there, not only with the UBA only, but they have number of collaborative banks, you see. And I think Indian government must realize, if they have not realized, that this is going to be a long drawn walk, you see. This is not going to come out easily. I'll give you the reasons why Swiss are desperate. The Swiss economy is in a very, very bad shape. In fact, they are in a recession, number one. Number two, their problem is of the Swiss economy, Swiss currency is in a bad shape. Number three, the currency of this, the Swiss currency, you see, the tourism has gone out of any this thing.
So they're doing this, they're cooperating with India in the hope that India can help boost their economy. Is that what you're saying?
Certainly. They are very desperately looking for cooperation with India.
Okay.
Because India is one of the countries which can make Swiss look good in the international market.
Right.
And Swiss also realizes that this is not the time for them. The old days are gone.
Yeah. I want to go to Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP. So, Narendra Modi, one of his first moves after becoming Prime Minister was to constitute the special team involving intelligence agencies, involving members of the Finance Ministry and various other departments of the government to try and locate and repatriate this black money. What are you going to do differently? How is the operation of this team going to be different from the past 10 years, specifically?
See, what is critical is Niti or Niyat, your policy and your intent. As you heard Mr. Gupta just saying, the last 10 years of government had no intent at all of bringing this money back. Because there's one angle which everybody seems to be glossing over, which is black money is one side of the story. Corrupt money is another side of the story, which is more dangerous.
What's the difference?
See, while some people may have taken money away without paying taxes. Yeah, while some people have stored money without paying taxes, the other is the ill-gotten wealth which has been received out of kickbacks and corruption in India. And that's a far more dangerous phenomena which needs to be tackled. And the real reason why you've had reluctance in the last government has been primarily because the money there is ill-gotten wealth, not non-tax paid wealth. The exposure of this ill-gotten wealth would have created political havoc in the UPA government, and it is for this reason that the government was reluctant. However, the first act of this government in its first cabinet meeting was to approve the setting up of an SIT which will uncover all this. Mr. Gupta has pointed out that Switzerland would be keen to cooperate for the reason of its economy. There's one more angle to it. Internationally, with the advent of terrorism funded by international terrorist organizations, banking laws have undergone a change. Because the tainted money, the terror money, has been responsible for creating international insecurity. That is why collectively pressure was brought up that in the name of secrecy you cannot permit tainted money to come, which could lead to funding terrorist organizations.
And fair enough, and we're going to discuss all these. But again, I come back. What is the NDA going to do differently in practice? How is this SIT going to work differently from what we saw from 2011 to May this year?
First, the SIT is going to work. Unfortunately, last 10 years has seen no work. One, the SIT is going to work. It is going to pursue things very, very vigorously. All informations which are available or which shall be made available would be taken to its logical conclusion. You have seen how even the names already submitted, the government was reluctant to share it with anybody in spite of clear-cut Supreme Court directives on that. When the writ was filed by Mr. Ram Jethmalani and Supreme Court ordered that Mr. Jethmalani may become a privy to the names which have been revealed by the banks, on some pretext or the other, the government dilly-dallied it till such time that a contempt had to be filed, and in the last hearing, the court came down very heavily on the government.
So you're going to reveal names? Are you going to reveal names?
Clear-cut directions.
Are you going to reveal names, Mr. Mittal?
The government is committed to transparency. The government has no reasons not to be transparent about people who have defaulted, who have betrayed the faith of this country.
Okay, Mr. Gupta, I want to come back to you. I'll come back to you, Mr. Mittal, on that. I want to come to you on whether what would you, as someone who's been in the field tackling this problem, and someone who's now sitting back as an activist, what would you like to see from the BJP government as goalposts that they're meeting their promises?
You see, you have to act very tough with this Swiss government. There is no such thing.
But it's not just Switzerland. So
I'm talking about Swiss accounts only. You see, you will be surprised. The amount of money with the Swiss bank, UBS alone, is $300 trillion. $300 trillion. You see, and you can imagine what $300 trillion is. India's GDP is only $2 trillion. That is the deposits I'm talking about. And in fact, the problem that the Swiss are facing, if these people run away with the money from the UBS bank, the entire Switzerland is going to get liquidated.
Well, I want to come back to and focus on the question, which was, what would you like to see from the BJP as signs that they're serious?
You have to simply tell them that you have to give us the names. Number one, we are not going to allow Switzerland for any businessman or nothing. Number two, number three, even whatever business collaborations we have with you, we are going to cancel them. Number four, there is no business, no place for you in India.
Okay. Let me put, so Mr. Mittal, do you agree with some of those goalposts?
No, I don't think Mr. Gupta realizes that there's something called international relations, and there's something called sanity also. Okay. You can't be anarchist in your approach. Hey, we'll shut this down. This is not the way it can happen.